April is Immigration Awareness Month, and we have more on what Dreamers are fighting for.
And a local homeless shelter reopens after closing down just a day earlier.
And a Southwest man makes big strides in the Boston Marathon.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm student anchor Colleen Sikora.
And I'm student anchor Alexa Vagnazzi. Thanks for joining us.
Well, users of reclaimed water in Flagstaff, including NAU, FUSD, and the Forest Service, will have to cut down on the amount of reclaimed water they're using in the coming weeks.
The biological component of the Rio de Flag wastewater treatment plant has failed. The cause of death of these bugs is currently unknown, but officials are investigating the situation.
But whatever the cause, reclaimed water sources are extremely important to the city of Flagstaff.
So 20% of the total water used in our community is with reclaimed water. If we didn't invest in that over the last 2 decades, if our community didn't invest, then we would be using potable water to irrigate a ball field or something.
The Wildcat wastewater treatment plant will take over the load of producing reclaimed water until the Rio de Flag plant is fully up and running. But it will be several weeks before that happens. Well, Immigration Awareness Month is still upon us, and the presentations and protests have just not let up. NAZ Today's Imani Payne covers one of these protests and learned just what these people are truly fighting for.
I mean, tensions are pretty high at this rally right now. Today, the Obama administration deported its 2 millionth person from the country, and the protesters here at Flagstaff City Hall are not happy about it. If you go ahead and take a look behind me, you'll see some of these protesters here today that are standing out here in this weather. They have been out here for hours demanding reform and justice and providing a voice for the undocumented immigrants who don't otherwise have one. Now, there's a particularly special group here today called the Arizona Dreamers in Action, who are supposed to be protected under President Obama's Deferred Action program, which allows undocumented immigrants who were brought to this country as children to stay and obtain work permits, licenses, go to school, and stay in the country without fear of deportation. However, I had the opportunity to speak with members of this group, and they say, unfortunately, this isn't the case, and President Obama has not upheld his end of the bargain.
The Obama administration has been deporting 1,000 people a day, and he has now, as of today, deported more than 2 million people. It's more people than any other American president. In fact, he deported in 6 years more people than were deported in the previous 100 years. What I think he needs to do is use his executive decree to put an end to these deportations. He's speaking out of two sides of his mouth. He's deporting people, militarizing the border, and at the same time trying to get Latino votes.
One member of the Arizona Dreamers in Action says the reason for all of the deportations is because the government is scared to provide undocumented immigrants with a voice.
We're not here to harm you. We're not here to take your jobs. We're here because we want a better life for us, for our kids. They know that if they give us a pathway to citizenship, that we'll have power. We'll be able to vote, and we'll be able to say, this is who we are and this is what we want.
Demanding what they want is a huge step for these dreamers who were once too afraid to even step outside.
Before I was in Arizona Dreamers in Action group, I was so afraid. I would not even come out here. Now that I'm in the group, that I see support from other people, from allies, and from our own community, I am not afraid, but yes, we are always afraid to say I am undocumented.
Some, however, choose not to focus on the legal status of a person, but rather emphasize the need for equal human rights for all.
We believe that no human being is illegal, and we'd like to put an end to these unjust deportations, separating families, separating children from their parents, militarizing the border. Is a situation that we find unsustainable and intolerable.
Due to a 2012 executive order carried out by Governor Jan Brewer, the Dreamers are still unable to obtain driver's licenses, but are continuing their fight for equality. Imani Payne, NAZ Today.
Well, Tuesday is bringing a red flag warning for northern Arizona, and a cold front is moving in, bringing 40 to 50 mile-per-hour gusts. Combined with the lack of precipitation is a cause for serious fire dangers across the state. The red flag warning encompasses Apache, Coconino, Northern Gila, Navajo, and Yavapai counties in northern Arizona. And Flagstaff Shelter Services is able to keep its doors open at night. Thanks to an anonymous donation, budget constraints force the shelter to turn away overnight guests. That forces many homeless into forests, causing worries of wildcat campfires during a campfire ban. David Pearson has this report.
According to its mission statement, the Flagstaff Homeless Shelter provides temporary assistance to the homeless of Flagstaff with dignity and respect. The shelter provides food and clothing to the homeless, as well as laundry facilities, beds, and even storage lockers. Director Stephen Tomasello says part of his personal mission is to help as many homeless people as possible.
We take everybody in. We don't turn anybody away.
However, due to lack of funding, the shelter had to close its doors on April 16th. While the shelter anticipated this closure due to the season, many feel the shelter needs to remain open throughout the summer because of its benefit to the community. They reopened after an anonymous benefactor donated an undisclosed amount of money that will help keep the shelter open until July. Tomasello believes that keeping the shelter open year-round will give homeless people the consistency they need to get back on their feet.
We need a stable environment for this homeless community.
Patrons of the homeless shelter feel the services provided are invaluable and a benefit to their lives. Many travel great distances for food, shelter, and clothing.
Sometimes we're walking 4 miles just to get to a location to get food.
Without services like the Flagstaff Homeless Shelter, homeless people would be left without a place to eat or sleep. Oftentimes, they resort to camping in the woods with fires to keep them warm, a danger that needs to be avoided this dry summer. Many people believe that living in a homeless shelter is unimaginable. However, Tomasello reminds all of us that we may be closer than we think.
You know, some people seem to forget that they're only 2 paychecks away from right here.
The shelter treats all of its patrons with dignity and respect despite the challenges that they face. However, in order to keep their doors open, they need the support of the community. For more information about how you can help the Flagstaff Homeless Shelter, visit us at naztoday.com.
Boston Marathon runners successfully crossed the finish line this morning. One of the finishers was Flagstaff's own Nicholas Arsenaga. The marathoner won the Men's USA Marathon Championship back in October and finished 8th at the 2012 U.S. Olympic Trials Marathon. Prior to the race, NAZ Today caught up with Arsenaga to gauge his personal predictions of the competition.
I expect to, again, finish top 10 at the Boston. My goal is to be able to finish top 5 and hopefully make my way onto the podium. Coming in not seated as high as I had hoped to, just basically with my PRs, but just going to try to race against the competitors rather than against the clock.
Great news for the team member and coach of Team Run Flagstaff. Arsenaga finished 7th in the race, making him the second American finalist and the first place finalist for Arizona. As a top 10 finisher, the Boston Marathon will award Arsenaga a cash prize of $9,000. He plans to compete in the U.S. Olympic Trials in Los Angeles in February of 2016. And with that being said, the 1-year anniversary of the Boston bombing brings back many horrifying memories. And for some people, like Flagstaff resident Greg McMillan, who participated in the Boston Marathon last year, the bombing was all too real. NAZ Today had the opportunity to talk with McMillan about his experience with the bombing.
My company, McMillan Running, had 132 athletes running, so a big part of what I was doing was trying to locate everybody and make sure they were okay. I felt grateful that it didn't happen to me, but I felt a lot of concern for the people who had been injured, and there wasn't anything we could do. It had happened, and we were just hopeful that everyone was going to be okay.
The Coconuts are off to bigger and better places. Find out where the robotics team is headed.
And a report on the nation's second most popular pastime. Stay with us.
I'm student forecaster Alexa Dumini. Currently here in Flagstaff, 68 degrees. Fair south-southwest winds at 14 miles per hour. Well, we saw a little bit of precipitation today, but will that continue into the week? I'll let you know coming up.
Hi, I'm Terry Markson. As seasons change, so does the inventory at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. We've got Northern Arizona's biggest selection of always changing certified pre-owned vehicles. All receive a thorough 172-point vehicle inspection, a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty, and 2 years of free maintenance, including all oil changes. You can count on our certified pre-owns just as you can count on our relaxed, no-pressure environment. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, real hometown value.
Welcome back. The Coconuts are going to St. Louis, Missouri. Coconino High School's robotics team is representing Flagstaff on the international stage this Thursday. They are competing to win the first World Championship Chairman's Award. NAZ Today spoke with some of the team members about their expectations of the competition.
The Coconuts robotics team competed against 48 other teams to finish in the first seed position at the regional competition. This is their 5th time winning the Arizona Regional's Chairman's Award in 6 years. This makes them the Arizona team with the most regional Chairman's Awards. These students have not only learned engineering skills, they have also learned how to work together and speak well in front of people, which are all skills they plan on using in future endeavors.
A lot of these problem-solving skills that I've learned hands-on into my career in the future and into my education.
Education is not only about physics and engineering, it's also about helping others, which is a core value of FIRST. FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. Coconuts worked to mentor younger FIRST teams and taught a robotics curriculum at NAU Summer Enrichment Program to help their community. This is what led them to win the Chairman's Award.
To the team who spreads the FIRST message the best, and it's about working outreach and helping other people, not just yourself.
The Coconuts are hoping to bring back the first World Championship Chairman's Award this weekend. But it's not only about that to them. It's about commemorating all their hard work.
But we really just go to celebrate. It's more of a celebration than a competition of all our hard work and just everything we've done all season.
You can watch the robot action live courtesy of NASA. For NAZ Today, I'm Monet Gunn.
Birding is the fastest growing outdoor activity in America. According to a survey by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, more than 51 million Americans report that they watch birds, and more are taking it up all the time. In this report, we find birds have a lot to teach us in modern times.
Ducks have wintered at the Sedona wetlands for months. Soon they will be departing for their summer breeding grounds in Canada and Alaska. Next, the tropical species, orioles and hummingbirds, will migrate north.
It changes on a daily basis. Out at the wetlands, we can have species that drop in overnight and then they're gone by the next morning.
Dina Greenwood manages Jay's Bird Barn in Sedona and leads free birding safaris each Wednesday from the parking lot. The trained ornithologist understands that birdwatching has become the nation's second most popular outdoor pastime, behind gardening.
It's almost like a meditation because you're so focused and the rest of the world drops away. I also think birding is real, and in this world of the government, big business, birding is a very simple pastime that people can get involved with. That is what it is.
Birding is also big business. Arizona ranks 3rd in the nation for attracting birdwatchers from all over the world. They come to find more than 300 species that live in and around the Grand Canyon. The Verde Valley hosts more than 200 species total. Those visitors also enrich surrounding communities.
They're staying in the hotels, they're eating food at the restaurants, they're renting rental cars, they're coming and shopping.
Climate change and drought have already affected changes in habitat and impacted bird species.
It is kind of a give and a take and a loss and some gain throughout this whole process, and that's evolution.
Changes in bird populations can reflect the health of the environment. They forecast environmental conditions. Knowing avian habitats can help us plan a more sustainable relationship with nature. For NAZ Today, I'm Sierra Ferguson.
If you're looking to try your hand at birding, check out the Verde Valley Birding and Nature Festival at Dead Horse Ranch State Park, which starts this Thursday, April 24th, and goes through Sunday, April 27th. Clouds, rain, and sunny skies make for a very confusing weather day for northern Arizona. Stay tuned to find out what to expect for the rest of the week.
And the Arizona Diamondbacks took on the Los Angeles Dodgers this weekend, and they received their first series open win. Brooke Cowell will tell you more in sports coming right up.
I bought Pepsi Next.
What's Pepsi Next?
It's the latest cola from Pepsi. It's got real cola taste, but 60% less sugar.
Real cola taste, 60% less sugar.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable.
But this is the most impressive thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh, definitely. Let me get a camera. I've never had anything like it. My parents are gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna be so proud.
Pepsi Next. Drink it to believe it.
Keep up with NAZ Today by adding us on Facebook, following our Twitter account @NAZ Today, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Stay connected with us no matter where you are.
Tonight's NAZ Today weather is brought to you in part by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac in Flagstaff.
Welcome back. I'm student forecaster Alexa Dumidi here with your NAZ Today weather. Currently here in Flagstaff, it is 68 degrees. Fair weather conditions, a few clouds still dotting the sky. Overall, pretty warm. Wind south-southwest at 14 miles per hour. Today in Flagstaff, we saw a high of 70 degrees. Pretty warm for this time of year. Normal, you can see right here, 60 degrees. Normal low 30. We saw 34 degrees this morning. That's pretty close. Records that in 1989, it was 78 degrees, and in 1972, it was only 12 degrees. Pretty happy today was a nice balmy 70. Sunrise we saw at 5:47 this morning. Looking ahead to what's coming for us here in Flagstaff, we have a cold front moving in from the west. It's coming right to hit us here in northern Arizona. We won't see the cold front really until Thursday, but ahead of that are really, really strong winds. If we take a look at the Pacific satellite, we can see another view. Here's that cold front moving in westerly, and us here in Flagstaff, we're going to see winds up to 50 miles per hour in some areas of Arizona. Really, really strong winds. Now we take a look at the watches and warnings. All of this pink, that is red flag warnings for Arizona. What a red flag warning is high wind and low relative humidity, which create the perfect conditions for fire. So we have to be really careful with all this high wind ahead of us that we're not starting any fires. Now here in Flagstaff, we see this kind of light brown area, also just north of the Grand Canyon. That is a wind advisory. If you have anything outside in your yard that you would like to keep in your yard, I would suggest securing it down, bringing it inside, because we're going to see a lot of wind and a lot of umbrellas could be all over town tomorrow. Now let's take a look at tonight here in Flagstaff. 38 degrees is the temperature, a few clouds, light variable wind up to 15 miles per hour. Nothing like what we're going to see tomorrow. Sunset tonight at 7:04 p.m. Tomorrow in Flagstaff, sunrise 5:46. 67 degrees, still going to be pretty warm even with those big winds. Partly cloudy also. We're going to see winds from 20 to 30 miles per hour. That's the average, but up to 50 miles per hour. Super, super windy. Now, forecasted temperatures across the state. We have 71 degrees tonight in Lake Havasu, 51 tonight in Prescott, 60 tonight in Sedona, 55 tonight in Tuba City. Tomorrow, 77 degrees in Payson, 94 down in Phoenix, 77 in Prescott, 92 in Lake Havasu. Still pretty warm throughout the state despite those winds. Moving into the Flagstaff extended forecast, Tuesday forecasted 67 degrees. Wednesday 62, we're still seeing that wind. Thursday 64, as that cold front hits us, you can see night temperatures dropping, warming up by the weekend, although there's the potential for precipitation. The Sedona extended forecast still pretty warm. They're going to see that wind Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Tuesday 81 degrees. Wednesday 75. Thursday 79 degrees. It's going to cool down just a little bit into the weekend for Sedona.
Sounds like a wonderful Flagstaff spring again.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of spring sports, it's playoff season for some of us at NAU. So what do we have going on, Brooke?
Yeah, well, you know, with the spring weather and the wind, we have a lot of NAU playoffs, meaning tennis, track. I'll tell you all about it coming up.
got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
With it being Easter weekend, it was a pretty slow sports weekend for us here in Flagstaff. But first, I want to start by saying congratulations to Nick Arsenaga for placing 7th in the Boston Marathon. And now for a few of our NAU teams wrapped up their seasons this weekend and are heading to the playoffs. But let's start down in high school with the Coconino baseball team. They've been all the rage lately with their tie game on Wednesday against Boulder Creek. With it being tied in 9 innings, they stopped the game at 15 each. That game was continued today to determine who will get the win, and Alex Lucero will have that score for you tomorrow. But moving on to their game on Friday, the Coconino Panthers took host to Mingus Union. The Panthers' bats were hot as they mercy ruled the Marauders 17-7. Every single batter for Coconino received an RBI. Diego Johnson got the win and went 2 for 4 at the plate. This win gives the Panthers a 10-4 record. Keeping it on the diamond, the Northland Prep baseball team played on Saturday. The boys have been working hard to get into the playoffs. And with the win on Saturday over Phoenix Christian, their 2 pitchers, Mike Heffernan and Keegan Martin-Jocko, pitched together for a no-hitter. Yet, you heard that right, a no-hitter for MPA baseball. Felix Rudeman led the Spartans, hitting 2 for 3. It was 3-0 in the 3rd inning, but MPA busted it open to get the win, 11-0. Keeping it on the field, but moving over to the girls, the Northland Prep softball team got back on their feet Friday after their loss to Williams on Wednesday. And when they win big. The boys may be fighting for a playoff spot, but so are the girls. They picked up a 24-3 win over Joseph City on Friday. This was the Spartans' 7th Mercy game of the season, giving them a 9-4 record. So 7 of their 9 games have been a Mercy. That's pretty good. Moving west to Flagstaff High School, the Lady Eagles also had a game on Friday when they took on Dysart. After losing to Winslow on Thursday, the Eagles got back on their feet pretty quick as well. It didn't take long for Flagstaff to get their bats going, as it was 11-0 in just the 3rd inning. Senior Jessica Mesa finished 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a home run. Haley Doris went 3 for 3 with a homer and 3 RBIs. And the hitting party continued all the way down the lineup. It was senior day and every senior got an at-bat, which it proved to help the Eagles' 21-0 win over Dysart. Moving on up to NAU, I was talking earlier about how some of our teams here are gearing up for the playoffs, and those teams consist of the NAU women's and men's tennis teams. And let's do the ladies first. The girls traveled to Southern Utah this Saturday to prepare themselves even more for the Big Sky Championship and got the win with a close 4-3 score. The girls have the week off before competing in the Big Sky Championships this weekend. Staying on the court, the NAU men's tennis team is doing well also, as they will start their playoff run next weekend. The men took on Southern Utah on Saturday and snagged a 7-0 win. The Jacks have a 12-8 record and currently hold a 5-game winning streak. The men are looking to be hard competitors when they start their playoff run in the Big Sky Championships on Friday. Moving back over to the Diamond, the Arizona Diamondbacks played their 3rd series against the Dodgers this weekend, and they got their first series open win on Friday with a 12-inning game. But the rest of the weekend, it seemed like the Diamondbacks lost their hype. So let's go into yesterday's game. Top of the 2nd, Beckett on the mound for LA. See if Montero can get a hit here, and he does. He gets it down the first base line, but Montero looking to go for 2 here, and Puig with the arm tosses it to 2, and he's out. Don't they know not to run on Puig? Come on, that arm is insane. 5th inning, still no score. Beckett tells Pollock to sit down. That's 7 strikeouts in 5 shutout innings for Beckett. And it seemed to be Puig's day out there. Runners on 1st and 3rd in the bottom of the 6th. Puig comes through because guess what? It's gone. Yasiel gives the Dodgers some comfort room, 4-0. 7th inning, Diamondbacks looking to come back with runners on 2nd and 3rd, but Campana can't get it, and that will do it for the series. Dodgers grab the win, 4-1, taking the series 2-1.
You know, I gotta say it's sad to see those Diamondbacks lose, but great to hear that the tennis teams are doing well and heading to Big Sky.
Well, still early in the season for the D-backs, though, too. They have a lot of time to catch up.
Well, one can hope, right? Well, stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I was an ordinary guy, but I switched to Suddenlink's new internet, and now I can't stop being awesome, because it's the fastest in town. Downloads, uploads, any kind of load, everything just flows, at speeds 13 times faster than phone company DSL. Even when the whole family is online, there's no buffering. With DSL, we were suffering. Yep, anything the phone company can do, I can do faster. Now that I have the next big thing from Suddenlink, now that I have a house full of easy.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me. What's going on? Dinner.
Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plates. Plates?
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Taking another look at the Flagstaff forecast, 67 degrees Tuesday, very windy, winds up to 50 miles per hour, 62 on Wednesday as we see a cold front move in, cooling down into the weekend. The Sedona extended forecast, they have a bit warmer temperatures than us, 81 on Tuesday, 75 on Wednesday, windy down there as well.
And the world's largest sand sculpture park will greet tourists on May 1st in East China. The 72,000 square meter park will provide space for more than 70 sand sculptures, with the largest one being 18 meters tall. Most of the sculptures will be images of Disney cartoon characters. Castles will be constructed for visitors to climb on in order to have a closer view of the sculptures and a bird's eye view of the entire park, according to administrators. The world's largest sand sculpture park is currently in Kuwait, which covers an area of more than 28,000 square meters.
Where do they find all the sand? Is my question.
The
No, I'm
beach?
just kidding. No, that's insane. Some of those are huge.
What
I
beautiful
know
art.
you see some of those competitions, on the beach in California, but nothing to that status.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.
Where do they find all